Hey guys, how you doing? This is Ryan Date, aka Date Ryan Samo on Twitch and on Twitter. I remember the Hashira podcast where we talk all things anime and nerd, and you are live with us as we are recording this episode. And everybody who sees us on YouTube, thanks for watching it. Thanks for checking us out. And we ask that you would always like, comment, share, and subscribe to be a part of what's going on.
I'd like to begin with a fact.
So, as always, I've got the Hashira with me. We're -1, but we're still strong out here. Over there is Nobunaga to know. That's Tommy if you know him. Of course, Black by Nature 66. That's Deem. And the man behind the activity and the ability. That's Ed, and Edwin. And we are here to talk some anime stuff with y'all. So, there's a new episode of a new anime. The manga was out for a bit. I've been hearing about it. We were hearing about it. And I had endeavored to my fellow Hashira that we should check it out and to talk about it because I'm seeing it all over the place. I'm going to get spoiled about it eventually. So I was like, let's check it out first, see what we think about it, see if we're going to finish out the season or whatever. And last episode, you heard Nobunaga actually say something about it towards the beginning or the end of it. I believe he was saying that he started watching it and he thought it was pretty decent. So here we are. We're going to talk that Dandadan. And I hope I said it right. If I didn't say it right, reference the opening song. But yeah, so with Dandadan coming out, it's got some interesting things going on about it. And so before I go into it, I want to know what you guys think of Dandadan. So I guess I'll start with you, Tom, because before you had talked about it, but you weren't trying to spoil us. You were just kind of saying that you were checking it out and you liked it. So now that we're kind of watching the anime together, yeah, so what are some things you like? What makes it interesting? Talk about it.
Don't talk about episode 4.
I didn't even watch episode
Oh, okay.
4. Yeah, you said that came out today, so I
Yeah.
definitely didn't watch it. So obviously I started reading it. I read it for a couple of months or whatever. When I was doing like I said, when I was doing the side quest or whatever, one of my friends mentioned, he was like, "Yo, do an episode on that." Although I didn't, I started reading it, and it was really good. As far as I can't say like the story's cool, whatever. It's I'm always looking for uniqueness. It's not that unique, but I think, as you mentioned, I think we talked about that last week. It's just in the way that it was done and what the things that they chose to put into it actually made it pretty interesting. Kind of kept me reading. I think the characters are pretty cool, and then seeing it animated now, I think that they did such a great job. Not to mention how good the opening theme is. The opening theme is so damn catchy, so catchy. Like that's like probably one of the only animes where I don't really skip the intro because you always have the option, but I don't really hit skip intro. So the anime is so like vibrant and colorful. It looks visually great, even off of episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously we all saw it. So when they fought the aliens in the beginning, that whole scene when they're in the UFO in the spaceship, it looked so good.
That was hilarious.
The themes that they touch on, and just like the language, like the vernacular from different characters, like they just say and do some like weird, funny stuff, like some really funny instances. Like when I don't know if that's episode 2 or 3, where he kind of kneeled over by her face, bro, and like she farted in his face, but like just little things like that.
No, he farted in
like
her face.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's reverse.
He farted in her face, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But just like little things like that, and then how crazy the Turbo Granny is, it just what she's trying to do, what they're doing, their back and forth and all that stuff. And just from reading, I know the other characters that are to come into the story, and they just make it that much better.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it is going to get better for sure. And if they keep the animation the way it is, it's I'm not going to say it's going to be in the running for the greatest anime of the year, but it'll definitely be on the list for sure. And yeah, I'm happy with where it's at. A lot of these animes do get a lot of hype before they drop, and then all of a sudden, like people are like, damn, what the hell was this? You hyped it up for no reason, but it's living up to
high school. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's a good example. That's for sure a good example. But in this instance, I would say it's living up to the majority of its hype, and it's worth watching. So,
okay, all right, I can see that. That's interesting. So Dean.
Now I like it, because one, it gives me a little bit of taste of was it Fooly Cooley? It gives me Fooly Cooley vibes when I watch it, and just it has a lot of comedy in there. It's different. Like it has a lot of comedy in there. The characters, like it makes sense. Where it's not all over the place. Like the structure is pretty good, and the part where, like Tom said, when they were in the UFO, just like simple stuff, like when he had, I guess, whatever tool he was gonna use to rip out her organs, like the way he was standing, like he was looking, it was just like he's looking over
He
to the side,
wanted
like,
the banana part.
yeah, he's like, yo, we gonna have sex now. You feel me? But like little stuff like that, made it good. And just to see when she unlocked her psychic abilities and like how OP she was, and then them touching up on like when her grandmother came and asked, was like, yo, like how are you able to like suppress his the curse or whatever. And the way she explained it, and then how the demonstration actually came up, I feel like that was pretty dope. And just the fight scene in general, and I know we all seen it when what's his name, Takakura, Ken. Yeah, when he
Okarun.
Oh no.
Yeah, Okarun. Yeah.
How you gonna change his name just because she changed his name? That's crazy.
we all know why she changed
That's
his name.
crazy.
Yeah, but to add on to that, that's definitely, I did hear. Well, shout out to Rob Showing the Showdown. He was I seen him make a video talking about the manga, how he's really invested and interested in it. I didn't want to read it because I knew it was getting animated, so I just said, I'll wait until it comes out, whatever, just to see like if it's really worth the hype or worth actually watching. And it's kind of disturbing in the beginning, but then you'll grow on you and you'll end up watching it because it's actually funny. I like it.
Okay. I mean, sorry. Bro said freaking the organ. That was a good way to say that.
Oh yeah, word. I was gonna say what really.
I'm sorry.
I'll just say that, like, yeah,
All right,
you know.
You up, bro?
Truth be told, that was like one of my favorite opening, like first like few minutes for an anime episode in a while. Yo, the fight that girl had with Tattoo.
Oh, wait.
That shit was mad crazy because like first off, like that was just like a phenomenal kick that she delivered to homie. He just blocked it like nothing. And then when he hit her back, I was like, oh nah, this show is crazy.
Yo, he kicked in his stomach, bro.
Yo, yeah, word. I'm like,
That
dang, like, how you just
crazy.
kick the girl like that in her stomach?
Oh man.
But I mean,
He
yeah,
said
the first
equality.
3 episodes, I didn't obviously I didn't see the fourth. I thought the first 3 episodes were good. It gives me like kind of like Mob Psycho-ish vibes a little bit, in the sense that obviously like you got the girl with her little powers and stuff like that. But just how like they just be doing like just random, huh?
The color abilities.
Yeah, the
So I know,
girls
like, no, I was just talking about like the colors, because like I know in Mob, like the animation, the colors are insane. Like they're just thrown out there like crazy, especially when he's using his ability.
yeah,
That's kind of what I
but I
see.
mean, just like so far, like with her being able to control
Oh,
like
the
certain
psychic.
things and doing what she's doing. Yeah, like, yeah, so like that's cool. Her having her power abilities, similar to, not similar, it's not the same as like Mob Psycho, but it kind of gives me like that kind of vibe a little bit because they in high school. Like I said, the psychic ability and stuff like that, and how like the main character, his personality is, I guess maybe similar, but they both just like shy, even though he don't like shut up. So like that's funny about the show. I see myself like continuing to watch it though. I was entertained by the first few episodes. Turbo Granny is hilarious. I can't wait for them. I can't wait for it to watch this next episode because I got to see this fight between those two and stuff like that. But yeah, like I mean, I'm enjoying the show. I think it's good.
Okay. I mean, I do think it's a very entertaining show. I do think that more than anything. Like I don't see myself taking it like serious. And honestly, I think it was a good break from like trying to find anime that were like seriously written or like, kind of that sort of idea, that vibe. So Dandadan is a good, nice little break in between. I feel like that's nice. Again, just touch on some funny stuff. That beginning, I'm not gonna lie, Ed, the first 5 minutes, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, I went to text right in the chat, be like, what y'all got me watching? But as it progresses, it's good, and I feel like it's kind of, even though it's like a very like dramatic anime version of high school kids like we're used to seeing a kid who's like, he's always getting picked on, feels like he has no friends, and she stuck up for him just because she had just went through something, and he was just like, man, I gotta take this chance. I got no friends. She spoke to me. I gotta
Yeah,
speak to her
word.
too. And a lot of times people don't do that, and I thought
I was just thinking
that was
that
kind of
too.
cool about how he did it, and it worked out for him. And because she's such a caring person, it did work out, because now she's like really worried about the things that he says and things that he admitted, and that's why she was willing, and worried about him when she thought her grandma smoked him. You know what I'm saying? Like she was running to the shrine like, oh shoot, this kid never had friends, just wanted a friend, and now I put him in this position, and my grandma smoked him. It's all my fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was a lot of
empathy.
I like the two characters they're very charismatic. And it's funny because they're both supposed to be kind of weirdly outcasty, but when you see their storylines, I think they're easy to get along with and easy to cheer for. I think it's hilarious that when he gets depressed, he says "yo" for every sentence, and she thinks it sounds stupid.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Oh,
to
I
me
thought that's
too.
because he was in like that form or whatever.
Yeah,
he was
but
doing
it's
that.
but
That
exactly.
was
So he
hilarious
speaks down
too.
and like gets depressed, but
Yeah.
he's always like "yo" or whatever. She's like, "Stop talking
Yeah.
like that." And she like knee kicked him or whatever. But the funny thing is, I don't know if you guys realize it. She's trying to knee kick him in the nuts, but remember he doesn't have any
Yeah.
Right.
at the point in time.
Well, no, the other piece
Oh yeah,
is gone.
I think it's just
not
his winky that's
not his
gone.
nuts. His nuts aren't gone. It's the other piece.
Is the, but I mean, I meant as in but yes, you are correct. I'm sorry. Let me be anatomically correct, Stream. His nuts are there.
Nigga look down and
That's
goes like,
just
yo,
a whole. That was
it's
just
it's
when I
really
first
not
read
there.
that took me back. Like I was like, "What the hell is going on?"
Yeah, because
Like,
when
how is this
all right,
even-
no, but be real about it. When Turbo Granny said that the first time we see Turbo Granny, you don't think she's really gonna take it, and then
That
all of a
was like-
sudden,
that was
you realize she
literally,
really took it.
That was the definition of demon time for real.
For real,
because
she really took homies.
she
Like
she ran
said,
with it for sure.
for real. She
And
took
she
it and ran
wanted-
with it.
She wanted something else in exchange, like wanted him to do something else too. I'm like, whoa.
No, but
Um,
isn't it funny that he ended up doing that in episode 3? It's not funny. Okay, all right.
Wait, what?
In episode 3, he ends up biting her tit.
Oh.
Like he did. And that's why I'm laughing, because remember she said that she was gonna do that and you're gonna do this, and he went and did it on his
Right.
own in episode 3. And I was like, that's hilarious. I was like, can't make this stuff up. So
Speaking of episode 3, I think that was actually done really well because for the majority of that whole fight, it was in black and white.
this
And
yes,
the only
the
time
sumo.
it got into color was when he transformed, and that's when he started to like add color to the episode after his transformation. So I thought, it's just like I said, things like that you're not going to see in the manga, but when you see that animated, I was like, damn, this is actually really damn good.
For real.
So they're doing the manga justice for sure, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it looks good. How do y'all feel about grandma?
The grandma,
Yeah.
she's too cool.
She's OP. Like the dude was taking a number 2 in the bathroom, and then I guess like she like froze time or did something and was talking to Momo, and was like, "Yo,
No, I
Oh
don't
wait,
think you're talking.
I don't think he's not
She's
talking about
talking
Turbo.
about Momo.
Oh no, I just said Turbo
grandma.
Granny. If I'm talking about Turbo Granny, I'm talking about actual grandma. If I was talking about Turbo Granny, I'll say
oh,
Turbo
my fault.
Granny.
You said Turbo. My
Her
fault.
name is
Nah,
Turbo
yeah,
Granny.
She's beast, bro. She's beast. Like the foresight of planting that trap when she knew that Granny was gonna be fast and end up behind her. She's like, yeah, I planted that. I planted that a long time ago. Now you trapped. And I was like, ew.
Yeah,
So
her
waiting
design
on
is
her with
really
the
cool,
bat.
though, man.
Huh?
Yeah, the baseball bat
With the
design is
pencil on the
actually
top.
all really cool.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's not crazy. A baseball
wasn't
bat with a
expecting how it
pencil in
looked
the
like
top.
Right.
I was like, that's dope. In order to draw the circles, and that's another thing that they leaned into very heavily as well that I thought was different, because a lot of people gave JJK credit for how they leaned into like kind of like the spookier aspect of cursed spirits and stuff like that, right? And now we find that Dandadan has a nice way of leaning into that kind of aspect as well without making it too like just it doesn't feel like strange or like it's being pushed too hard. I just feel like they're trying to lean into like the natural parts of like what those old stories used to be like.
And you're
And
right.
I feel like it's
And
done well.
they bring in the whole occult aspect. They add the aliens and that into that too.
Mm-hmm.
So like you said, it's like of a more, and like the more comedic side is added into it. JJK had a little bit of comedy, but it has a very serious tone to it at a lot of the time. And even though there's fights and action, all that stuff going on in Dandadan, the comedy is still there. I mean, to touch a little bit more on the grandma, that when she was fighting Okarun or whatever, when he was transformed, and the way that she was like doing the circles or whatever, that was just pretty damn smart because she was drawing the circle on the outside and then the one for the inside. So it was like basically bound and couldn't go anywhere. It was like fully screwed. It was actually pretty cool to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even when she like clocked him initially with like the nail and was explaining how once the nail broke that
Yeah.
mark, it became another place. I was like,
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
like,
Word,
Yeah,
word, word.
COD.
and
Yeah.
I want to like also lean into the way that grandma was explaining how they should be training to be like, all right, if
Yep.
your body is being weakened because it's being possessed, then you need to get physically stronger so your body has more stamina and you need to focus more and da 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 da. And she was gonna train him and you know, Turbo Granny was like, nah, I can't let that happen. I can't let y'all get strong and pull up on me. Like,
shout out to the Saitama regiment. Yeah.
word.
Yeah, word.
We saw 100
she
push-ups,
told to
100
do
sit-ups. She
100
gave him the
sit-ups,
Saitama
yeah.
regiment.
Yeah, that was
for
fun.
real.
Yeah, word.
Yeah, for sure.
So I thought that was pretty cool. Another thing that I did notice in the show for in Dandadan that I thought was pretty cool was the fact that like they played into like the idea of people not wanting to believe in like spiritual abilities, right? For example, they had grandma on the show. Remember with the idol, the icon,
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, with
and
the
she
kid,
was
yeah.
right about everything, but he lied on purpose. And
Right.
then it came
But
on
again,
TV
and
in the
it came
news the
out on
next
TV,
day,
yeah,
remember? And then the
yeah.
next day in the news, it came up that everything she said was true, even though he just
Yeah.
said she was lying the day before. I was like, oh. And I thought that was cool. Like, even though she was right, he had to say she was wrong because that's just kind of what was going on. And that played into why, I guess, Momo kind of, why her and Momo's relationship was so strained about her calling her grandma a fake. Because her grandma's dealing with people in the real world calling her fake, and her granddaughter's calling
Yeah.
her fake, even though she knows she's trying to make sure her granddaughter is safe. You know?
So, question. I didn't get the last part when Grandma was explaining why she wasn't able to go with them to, because she was like something about the seals around the city. She said, "I can't leave the city, or I can't leave this area unless
her powers fade.
Yeah, yeah,
Outside of the city limits or whatever.
yeah."
I believe she said something along the lines of like
I got
every
you.
person. You got it. Go ahead.
Oh, so she was literally saying, and this is definitely JJK. Fight me if you want to. I'm gonna pull a goose real quick. She was
Oh, boy.
explaining how the spirit. No, I'm serious. If you watch it again, it's literally JJK. She was explaining how the domain expansion was the city. So it was a location bound spirit, and because it was a location bound spirit that she bonded with, it became way
fused.
stronger and gave her extra abilities. So they had to get her outside of the city so that her power would be less outside of her domain. And then once you realize in episode, I know Ed said you didn't watch 4 yet, so I don't want to go too far into it. But like that domain is wild because literally it's like everything is happening while they're in the city just trying to outrun it. The only difference is it doesn't auto hit, but once you're in this location bound spirit's location, you are in danger at all points in time. And she further expounds on that, Ed. And when you watch the episode, you're gonna see you'll see exactly what that means for how it works in this show. But it was just like, oh wow. Like again, like I said, it's not like they're not. I don't think they're biting off JJK, but I think it's more along the lore of spirits, like that whole a spirit being bound to a place, and that's where it's stronger because this is its domain and what it can control when you're here because of what it's able to do because of how long it's been living in this place. You know what I'm saying? Like that to me was just kind of cool to see that same aspect of like Eastern spiritual culture still displayed in another Eastern part of set of fiction, and I thought that was dope. I'm not gonna hold you like that was cool to me.
Has more sensibility than JJK. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
So, but I mean, well, this show is meant to be like funny off rip too. So I think that because it's lighter, I'm not holding it to any real like, oh my god, standard. You know what I'm saying? It's meant to be funny. So I'm not over here like walling out when I'm watching it. But I just thought that was so cool to see that same aspect pop up in another piece of fiction from from a kind of a similar culture idea. So I thought that was pretty dope. But but that was going on with that, Kadeem. So when you were talking about like that's why they had to get her outside the city because she had that domain.
Okay.
So and the funny part is, and I didn't realize it was the whole. Oh, see, yeah, I forgot they didn't watch the episode yet. My bad. I was watching.
But who you talking about, Turbo, or you talking about
Turbo?
The grandmother?
It's about Turbo Granny
okay.
just now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
once
regular
we're
grandma.
done recording here, I'll watch the episode.
Yeah, watch it, and then you'll see because she really goes like Turbo Granny starts talking trash. So it go.
I ain't surprised.
If she was talking trash the whole time, she crazy. Turbo Granny is crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
She was like talk trash to Turbo Granny. She can't turn down a challenge. That had me dying.
That's funny.
bro.
So what is
Yeah,
it
that
like?
character was
It's always a race with like you got to beat her in a race.
I mean, that's
She
what's
just
so far
prides
what it
herself on
is.
how
She,
fast she is.
yeah. So since she's always it's like she's a spirit who's been alive for a long time, who's like I'm the fastest, and so in her mind, that's what don't tell her nothing about that. She's stuck in her ways, I guess literally because she's still stuck as
Alright.
a spirit in the
So spoiler alert.
Nundatal.
Do they ever touch on what the girl says? Because I remember when they was on the phone, Momo tells him like, "Don't run."
Yeah.
So like, I want to. Okay, so they do.
So I mean, they kind of already did. It's that domain explanation. Once, so like, she doesn't really go into detail about it, but she starts explaining that she can do whatever she wants in this area, and that's why Momo was telling him not to run, because you're trying to outrun Granny, and once you try to do that, she's not gonna let you do it any way possible. Because remember,
Right.
that's why she was explaining that don't let her beat you in the race. You're gonna be cursed because that's Turbo Granny's thing. So, Momo already knows the nature of the curse, but she sent him there. I don't know why she would do that because she thought call her grandma phony or whatever. So she sent him there to prove that there was a spirit. But I guess she knew about it, but didn't really believe it was gonna pop up. But she knew the spirit because her grandma told her about it, and that's why she was like, "Don't run," because if you start running,
Yeah, but I was just wondering that maybe like that's how you get yourself caught up in the curse. Is like if you kind of like activate the race. So if you don't run, then you don't activate her trying to beat you in a race.
I would agree.
Type of
Honestly,
thing.
they don't go into that, but I think that's probably part of it, and I think that might
okay.
pop up after the episode because they didn't say that specifically. But I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case because you know what I'm saying. Like everything changed when he started running. Like so, you know what I'm saying?
That was when I was like, she told him like, why not like he's trying to get away, and then you see her just like booking it.
Which was hilarious. But then remember, she also made the tunnel keep getting longer. So there was no way he could escape anyway, and that's why the next time when they're in there. So remember, and so I mean, you guys got to that part in episode 3, right? When like she made both sides of the tunnel get full, and they couldn't escape. Like y'all got to that part too.
I mean, I watched the whole episode, so yeah.
Yeah, so that was also like, bruh, like she could do anything in this tunnel, like anything. I was like, what the hell? I was like, this is crazy. So, but yeah, it's wild stuff. It's wild stuff. I also think that it's cool that I don't feel like either one of them is the main character. Like at first, I thought it was gonna be the kid. I thought it was gonna be the boy at first, but I don't feel like it's the boy. Sometimes I feel like it's her, and then sometimes I feel like it's him. So I'm like. Sometimes it's Momo, sometimes it's Ken, sometimes it's Momo. I mean, sorry, we changed his name because she changed it. So, Okran.
But that's why, like, truth be told, this show, I mean, there's nothing similar to it, but just like the way like everything is like playing out, it was kind of giving me like, what's that, Samurai Champloo? It was giving me those vibes too, where you had like 3 characters that kind of like were like equaling like important role, and then like I was saying earlier, that
you
like,
watched
I feel
that?
like,
Ed?
yeah.
Did you like?
Yeah, I actually thought it was a very good anime.
Well, Semi Shampoo?
Yeah. I feel like it's very good. Like, I mean, I want to kind of.
I just started watching it.
You've never seen it before?
No, I just started watching it.
Oh, damn.
How many episodes you watched so far?
I'm up to the episode where I literally just started. Like they're traveling together, and then it's the episode where I think they went to the hot tubs and they was reading her journal, and they read out the whole thing. At the end, it was like I knew he was gonna find this. Like, oh, this is a lie. After they read it out, I don't know which episode that is.
Well, welcome to Samurai Champloo. It's an amazing show.
Yeah, where I actually think it's like.
Oh, really, hey Mimi, thanks for jumping in. She said the same thing you said, Kadeem. It reminds her of Fooly Cooley, and I want to get on that. I'm gonna get to that in a second because that holds a very specific space in my brain. So I want to get to that specific thought myself. But yeah, I think it's fun, and I think that the more it goes on, it's gonna be a good fun show to watch, and I'm definitely enjoying just kind of like how great it is to just be laughing at something. And then of course they're still playing on like the high school kid kind of mindset where like she's got to act tough because of the last time she let a boy too close to her, got her heart broken, and she's kind of harping on that still. So like she's got to act tough to this kid, even though she knows she banging with him.
Virginity for a real Takakura Ken.
And that's his name though. That's a funny part.
That was funny.
Yeah.
And
I was like, what?
And the funny part, remember she was like holding her heart, and then she like the spaceship blew up because like her heart beat too fast. That had me crying. I said, "Oh my goodness. Um. So, just like real quick, what are your like, what do you guys think might happen with like the ideas for, I guess, power and abilities? How do you think they scale? And do you think we need like, can we make a prediction now, or do we have to wait for 2 more episodes?
When you say power and abilities, you mean like
Like
the
abilities, like how do we scale the abilities? Like what makes them stronger? Like we heard Granny saying, if your body can't withstand a curse, get more stamina. Telling her granddaughter to focus more because of psychic powers, and that she doesn't believe in aliens, but she believes in psychic abilities. Like you know what I'm saying? And she was thinking,
yeah.
and she thought psychic abilities were way stronger, and helped her granddaughter out by saying you're limiting them, because what I think about psychic powers, I'm thinking of all the senses, right? And then she told her granddaughter, and her granddaughter was like, oh, that should be, and then she tried to do it, and she figured out that was the right thing to do. So like what, and now we're seeing, Turbo Granny, she outside being Turbo Granny. So it's like,
She's outside.
listen, she outside. She's taking people's, what? She's outside, all right?
Yeah, word.
So
That's still
Yo,
insane.
that joint was nuts, man.
Yeah, that's still insane, man.
No pun intended.
but I'm just saying, like, so how much higher do you think, like you see, when you guys finish watching this episode, you'll see what I'm saying, but like, how much stronger do you think the spirits get? How much stronger do you think the main characters get? Main character is plural. Like how, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you feel it's gonna go from here?
I feel like the main character was it Ken? Like he's gonna be, well, I would say, like, instead of him being able to control, like, just have the half mask, like it's gonna be at a point like he like fully control it, so it'll cover up his whole face instead of just that half part. That's the only thing that jumps out at me, as far as, like, him developing his powers. As far as Momo, I don't know the extent of her, like, her psychic powers are, because it looked like she could honestly do a lot, like word to, all of a sudden Jean Grey.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
A lot of the telekinetics going on. Facts.
Yeah.
So, anybody else?
I mean, truth be told, I don't know if he's gonna be able to like acquire like different ghosts or something like that, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he just like maintains Turbo Granny, and I guess like maybe if he like acquires Ghost, like her ability would be her to like get better at like controlling him and keeping him from like going berserk and losing himself. But I mean, I feel like like I said, I feel like they're gonna be on like some Mob Psycho level type shit where they're gonna be just doing a lot of destruction, because they're already kind of doing like some crazy stuff when they fought that big
the sumo,
that sumo guy. Like
The
that
sumo,
guy seemed
yeah.
like he was pretty
I ain't
strong.
gonna lie. I got kind of scared watching him. I ain't gonna lie.
Like if they could fight with like that guy already, I mean, and he was pretty, like, I'm not even gonna say pretty, like he was like very limited
To
in
that
his
capacity.
ability to like sustain that to sustain that
And that
Turbo
episode
Granny
shows
show.
that. I mean to cut you off. My bad. But that episode shows how durable she is.
There
right?
you
'Cause
go. That's what I was thinking the whole time.
He
Go
was
ahead.
pushing her into the wall.
Yeah,
And,
he was wilding.
Yeah, you wouldn't have thought that she was that durable. So I guess the level of destruction that they will impose on one another, or like the surrounding areas, will, gradually increase.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really answer that question though, because I'm like I think on chapter like 147 or something like that. So
Okay. Well, yeah. So yeah, I know a little bit more. So but it's also like, but I was thinking that too, Tom. I'm not gonna hold you. And the whole time I'm like, how is she getting? Like he knocked her from one side of the whole little cube he made to the other side, and then punched her. I said, bro. And then she's still talking like, yeah. I'm like,
wait,
you
still talking and still compressing Turbo Granny. So she's still holding Turbo Granny back while getting punched on the wall, while getting sent to. I was like, nah, yeah,
And
she's durable as.
Not only is she durable, but she's able to focus, like you're saying, because she focused on Turbo Granny and she was watching the space in the wall, so that way she could pull him in and put the curse thing back on the door. I'm like, dang, she's out of pocket.
True. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, I was like, and again, a lot of that comes with like listening to her grandma, because remember, a lot of that stuff came back to remembrance when she was sitting there like, why am I thinking of my grandma telling me this stuff now? Why am I thinking of my grandma telling me this stuff now? So a lot of that was built and ingrained into her. But like you were saying, Tom and Ed, I do think he gets more spirits, maybe, I don't know. but I also think that what happens from this point on is only gonna get, obviously even worse. Because like when you watch episode 4, you're gonna see like it's like, what the heck? How do we get from this to this so quickly? So it's gonna, like for real, I'm dead serious. I was like, yo. So I think that for sure, what's gonna happen is the scale's gonna get bigger on that for real. So all right,
I
I
hope
guess
he
not.
gets his wiener back, man.
What?
That might be how they could fully control Turbo Granny. He get his wiener back. You never know.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, so for sure that's the thing. So I don't want to like, beat a dead horse. Again, we think it's a great fun anime to watch. You guys have any final thoughts on it before I close this episode on out?
Wait. I just want to ask you 3. Rating. What's the rating? What you give it so far?
Oh, blind rating?
Yeah.
I think it's really good and funny. And because it's funny, I don't think that I'm holding it to too much of a standard as I do for like super serious anime. But I think as a general standpoint, right now, I'm gonna have to give it the good old. I'm gonna give it a good old 8.5. I like it right now.
What about you, Ed?
No.
Time to talk.
I give it like a 7. I think the episodes have been really good, but for like what it is, I give it like a 7 overall, like in the anime world.
Okay.
It's a 7 anime, but the episodes been like maybe like 9s.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tom.
I'm not saying it should or shouldn't be, but why is it not like in contention for being a serious anime or like an anime of that caliber?
Well,
why don't you guys consider it to be that?
Well, it was me who said it, so I guess I'll take it. So I don't. The reason why I don't think it's serious yet is because to me it's very funny on purpose. There's a lot of like humor that it puts into a lot of places all the time for the sake of doing so, because it wants to stay lighthearted, but it's adding all of the darker parts in other kind of I guess other situations regarding the anime. So for me, I'm not looking for it to be some super like it's got to be written super well. It's got to be, the world building's got to be amazing in my mind, because I'm focused on just the characters and them being who they are already.
Okay.
So if they're already doing that for these first 4 episodes, then I'm assuming that if the mangaka is going to do it, the characters are always going to be what we're focused on, because how they're already doing that. And then the world just has to work around them to make it work. So therefore, I'm not looking for it to be like, world building has to be great, and the way this power system has to work with this power system.
Okay,
like,
so
I'm not there with this in my mind when I watch this so far. That's what I'm saying.
right. This wasn't for something like for me to disagree or agree with.
Yeah.
I was just wondering what you meant. So I'm basically, you're saying you don't really have high expectations.
Concerning like the world building and stuff, no, I don't. Like I said, but the way that I'm watching it is why. So like I said, if it changes at some point and it starts to like turn itself up and it makes it like I guess a more serious dive into the world and the realm and everything and all that jazz and the history and blah 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 blah, then maybe. But I think for now, it's
because
a lot more.
I think it will, and that's
well. I mean,
guess
and you're
what
reading too, so you have so
Right.
you're looking at it like, hey, these guys are saying this based off of this, but I know more information.
no. I'm
You know
just
what I'm
wondering
saying?
why
So-
you guys like initially took that. That's your aspect or your perspective on it. Like, hey, it's not really anything, or it's not a serious anime or something like that.
Yeah,
So,
because even like the
I was
first
just
like the first
wondering
3
what you-
minutes, like me at the first 3 minutes, like watching that, I'm not thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not the way.
So, I guess my question is, how would you compare that to something like, or would you think that One Punch Man is a serious anime, or do you consider it at the same level?
Definitely, One Punch
Same
Man is a
level.
parody.
Okay,
It is meant to be funny.
gotcha. Okay,
It's meant to be good and funny. That is. So like, and that's what I expect
Gotcha.
from One Punch Man. And because I expect that from One Punch Man, it's good to watch without me looking for other reasons. And like Boros as a whole, Boros gave his backstory in 2 episodes. You feel me? And once we got all that, once we got all that build up and all that, my boy Saitama
That's
just
right.
Saitama him. You feel me? So it's made to be like that. So and that's again why. But One Punch Man is meant to do that. And so I feel like when I'm watching Dandadan, not that it's One Punch Man level parody, but it's just like I there's a lot of comedy, and just the characters are kind of driving what's happening, and we're getting stuff based off what the characters are going through, as opposed to getting stuff based off what the world is doing, if that makes sense. Like,
No, I get you.
we only found out that you could train to have more stamina for the demon because the character needed it. We only found out that her powers could be different when she talked to her grandma, because it came up as something she would need to do in order to save the kid. It wasn't something that's like the world is doing this and everybody's training to be this great. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the way it pops up. In other anime, generally by episode 4, we realize something that they're doing is what the world is doing. Like in Naruto, to be a ninja, you went to ninja school, you chakra, blah 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 blah. Black Clover, magic, so forth, so on. Fairy Tail, magic, so forth, so on. JJK,
At school, right?
cursed spirits at the school. He goes and saves them. Gojo pulls up, and we find out it's a whole system of powers. Like it seems like those are. You see what I'm saying? Like, those do that very soon, so let you know that the season and the series is gonna be with this and this and that. Dandadan is the characters need it, so therefore it's important so far. So far.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's what I've got.
And all right, my final rating, I'll give it an 8.
8.
I'll give it. It's pretty chill. You know, it's good to like binge watch. It's smooth. There's no like.
I agree with the 8.
I don't know.
I would
It's
give it an 8 too.
it's just really, it's smooth all around. You know, from animation, comedy, story. It's a well balanced anime. So I give it an 8.
Okay. Wait, Tom, did you actually give it a number?
No,
Yeah,
Tom,
I agree with Deem's 8. Like, it's in the beginning of the episode, I really like the colors that they use and how it's animated. The fight scenes look really, really good. They just have a really good way of portraying what happened in the manga, taking it to another level. So the way that the characters are designed, I like when the dude transforms and the way he acts. Like, they do really good at showing his personality change and all that stuff too. And like I said, I can't really stress the color and then the choice of the anime opening. So I agree with the 8 for sure.
Nice. Okay. Well, hey guys, that kind of closes out our episode right here. So if you've watched already, that's the question to you that you could put in the comment section would be, what do you rate Dandadan so far? And how do you feel it's going to progress as it goes along? So drop that in the comment section. Let us know what you think it comes from. Let us know what you think it's like, what it relate to. Do you feel like it's its own thing? Like, tell us your thoughts on Dandadan in the comment section below. And please like, comment, share, and subscribe so that more people can join the conversation, because the best thing about watching nerd things and doing nerd things is being able to share that with other people. So with that being said, as always, do the best you can to live the best life you can. Support others, because that's the best way to live a life, by showing that what other people are doing is important by what you're doing as well. And watch all that anime and nerd stuff, because it's great. And this is my little pitch. Play stuff you haven't played before either, like Dungeons and Dragons and Baldur's Gate, get Monster Hunter, all that stuff. This is my personal plug right here. And besides that, above all those things, stay nerdy, my friends. Johnny.